The destination of this coach is Hazard, Kentucky.
Well, good morning. Good morning, folks. Good morning for some people. It's not a particularly good morning for Mark Sanford. I don't know if you know this, but Mark Sanford, the Appalachian Trail guy, he was down in Argentina hiking the Appalachian Trail, among other things, when he was supposed to be governing the state. He was in charge. He was the governor of South Carolina, and he went to Argentina. And he told his staff that he was hiking the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, so he's trying to make a comeback. And of course, he's running against Elizabeth Colbert, with a T, Colbert Bush, who is, of course, the sister of Stephen Colbert, T, on Comedy Central, the good Colbert Report. And she's got like a 9-point lead. That race is next week. And, Colbert Bush, who, I don't know if you've been following if you haven't been following the race, Colbert Bush she's holding her own. I mean, despite the fact that she's running against Mr. Appalachian, she's holding her own. And she can go toe-to-toe. She's going to be a great voice in Congress. Yeah, the trick is going to be in 2014, because I'm sure that the locals down there will put up some, local yokel who's going to, open carry his weapon on the campaign trail and talk about all the mass murders that Obama is perpetrating, Benghazi, and, they'll find some other lunatic that didn't, shirk his duties and head down to Argentina. But I have hope. I think Colbert Bush, I think she can hold her own, even in a 2014 election. But we'll see. That's not what I want to talk about, though. I don't want to talk about that. That was in the news. There was something else in the news. I don't know. It didn't really come up much, but I happened to catch it yesterday. The shooting. Someone shot themselves in the head at Bush Houston International Airport yesterday. Yeah, this guy, he comes into the airport with an AR-15 because, why not? It's Texas. He's got this AR-15, walks into the airport, fires 2 shots into the air with an automatic weapon at the airport, Texas stuff. Fires this shot into the air. And then, of course, there's a federal air marshal there. And he fires 2 shots at this guy, or 1 shot. I don't know, I have the article in front of me, but he fires his gun at this guy. And, of course, the trained guy, the federal air marshal, the guy who goes through the training, misses this guy. So now we have crossfire at Houston International Airport in the middle of a travel day. Then the guy sadly pulls out a pistol and shoots himself, kills himself. It's a suicide. Thankfully, he didn't take anyone else with him, which is all too sad. I tweeted out earlier, some idiots were tweeting at me earlier in the day, murder-suicides are rare. They never happen. Murder-suicides are so rare. Do me a favor. You're sitting in front of your computer. Type in murder-suicides in a Google search. I've got like 36,000 results pop up for that. That doesn't sound like a rare occurrence to me. So, anyway, I'm digressing. In fact, this guy's at Houston International Airport, and he shoots himself with a handgun. Today, the NRA convention is in Houston. So, I don't know if you remember the story from a few months ago, but there was a guy who shot himself in an RV in the infield during a race, one of those NASCAR races, that were sponsored by the NRA. So this makes it the second, and I'm not suggesting, I'm not saying that this guy shot himself at the airport because he was at the, he was going to the convention. I have no idea. I don't know what this guy was doing. I don't know why he was in Houston. I don't know what his purpose was. But I just, it's ironic, we have this, everywhere the NRA tries to hold a big event, people shoot themselves. But I think it's probably more of a story that people are shooting themselves in American cities everywhere. I mean, we talk about this all the time. 85 people a day are killed by guns in the United States. 85 people a day. 53 of them are suicides. That's like a 62% rate of people being murdered or taking their own lives. The gun grabbers are coming. And it turns out that you're the gun grabber that's coming for your gun. So, it's sad. It's very sad. But it's as they put it in Kentucky, it's part of the culture. Shooting yourself, shooting other people, toddlers shooting toddlers, just part of the culture. I don't necessarily think that's true. I don't believe that for 1 second. I get the argument that guns are part of our culture, especially if you hunt or, even for personal protection. I get that. I understand that. I'm from Pennsylvania. Guns, we're bitter and we cling to our guns, But I get it for the people who think guns are part of our culture. I understand that part of the conversation, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people being shot, people shooting other people. That's not part of the culture. It's not a cultural quirk to shoot someone with a gun. All right. That's enough. We talked about guns yesterday. I want to talk about something else now. I want to talk about, actually, let's talk about this. It's sort of about guns. We don't have an ATF director. You know that? We don't have an alcohol, tobacco, and firearms permanent director. We have an interim director because Republicans will not appoint. They're blocking. They're putting a hold on the current ATF director. They don't want one. They don't, because that's government. That's tyranny. Tyranny. If we have an ATF director, and that's tyranny. Meanwhile, Tamerlan Tassernav and Johar Tassernav are building bombs in their dorm rooms. We don't have an ATF director. How can we have a coherent alcohol, tobacco, and firearms strategy if we don't even have a permanent director? I don't know. But it's part of this larger issue with Republicans being obstructionists. And it's not even that they have a disagreement. It's not even that they say, well, we don't really like this guy's policy or his position on this. They're just obstructionists. They're just blocking government. They're blocking the functions of government to block the functions of government. That's the purpose. That's the reason. There are 2 seats that are currently open, vacant, on the federal district court in Washington, D.C., which, I don't know if you know this, but other than the Supreme Court, that is a major part of the legal system, and there's just 2 openings. There's 2 vacancies on the court. And Obama has nominated people. They're waiting for confirmation. But it's never going to come to a vote because tyranny. Tyranny! And this is their strategy for everything. This is Republican strategy for everything. Healthcare law? Nope, we're not going to implement that. ATF director? Nope, we're not going to appoint them. Federal court judges? Nope, we're going to leave them blank. They don't even have policy positions. They just block. They just stop. They just block everything. And of course, it's poetic justice. They're getting ready today, again, for the 35th time in the House to repeal Obamacare. Because, why not? Why not? They haven't voted on one jobs bill. They haven't done one jobs bill since they've taken over, but they've repealed Obamacare 34 times. Of course, it's not going to go anywhere because the Senate is not going to bring it up. And even if the Senate did bring it up, and they did pass it for some insane reason, Obama's not going to repeal his chief legislative accomplishment. And Republicans, they keep bringing it up. They just keep bringing it up. I don't know. It's assholery is what it is. That's the only way to really kind of describe it. Is they're assholes. They're just being assholes. And listen. It used to be during a time long ago, before there were Muslim socialist Kenyans in the White House, that Democrats would stand up and they would say, I have a policy idea, and Republicans would say, well, I have a different opinion on that policy idea. And then the two sides would argue their policy positions, and ultimately both sides knew that it was in their interest to produce some kind of law or legislation or policy about things that were happening in our society, and so they worked out a compromise, and we got things passed. And they weren't always great for the Democrats, or they weren't always great for the Republicans, but they were things. It was stuff. It got done. Now, you have Democrats that stand up and say, well, we'd like to address this issue on poverty, and Republicans are like, well, we're busy holding hearings on Benghazi. Or we're going to vote to repeal Obamacare again. They're not even at the table to have a discussion. Democrats are like, let's sit down at the table. Let's have a discussion at the table. And the Republicans are like, we're not even going to come in the room. Because we don't have to. Because we gerrymandered the districts. I don't have to do anything. And I'm not going to do anything. Because I'm going to get reelected anyway because I'm a Republican. And the state legislatures threw my district to where only Republicans can win this. So I'm just going to go to town halls and call Obama a Muslim, socialist, Kenyan dictator. And that's how I'm going to win re-election. Like Michelle Bachmann. I call her part-time Congresswoman, Michelle Bachmann. Because that's what she is. She's part-time. She hasn't sponsored one piece of legislation. Not one piece of legislation. I mean, she's happy to go on the morning shows and talk about how the census is going to come to your house and, make you gay marry someone from Planned Parenthood. I don't know. But she's hell-bent on that. But she does nothing. And she belongs to a long list of these, I call them welfare recipients, welfare congressional recipients. They just show up to Washington, they do nothing, and they collect a big fat paycheck. They're like Reagan's welfare queens, but for Congress. And they don't do anything. They don't pass any legislation. They don't engage in any debate. They hold town hall meetings. I don't know what the hell they talk about at these town hall meetings. I guess that's what they talk about. They call Obama a Muslim socialist at these town halls. And they let people yell Glenn Beck talking points at them. I don't know. And they keep winning. And they keep on winning. And they win these districts, and they go to Washington, and they do nothing, and then they go back home, and they keep winning. People, I don't know. The people just dumb. I don't understand. I don't understand why they keep electing these people over and over and over again when they don't do anything. All right. I've ranted enough here. Where are we at? We're almost at 15 minutes. So, all right, well, we're all done here. I try to keep these things at least reasonable time because I know people aren't really going to listen to an hour of this stuff, but thank you for listening. Thank you. Please share this link. The more people we can have listen to this, the better. So thanks again. And remember to follow us on Twitter at United Liberals. And like us on Facebook, too, facebook.com/UnitedLiberals. All right, thanks, and have a good weekend. We'll see everybody on Monday.